You're not stuck. You're just addicted to a version of yourself that no longer serves you. And until you let that version die, the life you dream of will remain exactly that, a dream. Most people spend their entire lives as a ghost of who they could have been. They wake up to alarms they hate, clock into jobs they resent, chase money they never keep, and numb themselves on weekends just to survive the cycle. Deep down, they know they're capable of more, but they can't escape the gravity of their old self, the one that procrastinates, makes excuses, fears risk, and clings to comfort. It's not laziness, it's identity. You've been told to just work harder, as if sheer effort is enough to change your life. But that's not how transformation works. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems, and those systems are built on your self-image. If you still see yourself as undisciplined, unworthy, or average, no amount of strategy will stick. Because no matter how good your plan is, you'll sabotage it if it threatens your old identity. Success isn't about doing more, it's about becoming more. You don't accidentally build wealth. You become someone who attracts it. Imagine this. You're inside a burning house. Smoke is thick, the flames are spreading, and your instincts are screaming to get out. But instead of running, you start rearranging the furniture. Maybe if the couch faces the other direction, this will feel more tolerable. That's what most people are doing right now. Trying to optimize a version of themselves that needs to be replaced, not improved. You don't need a better routine. You need a new identity. One that doesn't just want more, but expects more. 1. The death of comfort zones is the birth of reinvention. Most people live their lives in a loop. Wake up, work, scroll, sleep, repeat. Why? Because the comfort zone is seductive. It's safe, predictable, and quiet. But comfort is not where growth happens. It's where potential dies. The human brain is wired to avoid discomfort because discomfort signals danger. But in the modern world, discomfort often signals opportunity. Think of the gym. Your muscles tear before they grow. Your identity works the same way. The version of you that avoids hard conversations, dodges risk, and hides from challenge has to die. Because the only way to become unignorable is to constantly do things that make you uncomfortable. New skills, new routines, new ways of thinking. You'll lose people, you'll scare yourself, but every inch outside your comfort zone becomes a brick in the foundation of the new you. Destroying your comfort zone is not a motivational idea. It's a psychological necessity for reinvention. 2. Stop upgrading the old you, start building from scratch. Too many people waste time trying to improve a version of themselves that's fundamentally outdated. It's like installing new software on a broken computer. Self-help books, productivity hacks, morning routines, they're useful, but not if you're applying them to a mindset built on fear, insecurity, and survival mode. You need a system reset. Start by asking, who am I when no one's watching? What drives my choices, fear or vision? Desperation or purpose? Then cut the emotional cords to that identity. Let go of being the shy one, the average one, the overthinker. That's not who you are. That's who you were conditioned to be. Your past may explain you, but it does not define you. Reinvention isn't improvement, it's replacement. Kill the self-image built by your past experiences and create a new one built by your future ambitions. 3. Identity is a habit, not a trait. We often say, I'm not disciplined or I'm not confident, like those things are written in our DNA. They're not. Identity is built through repetition. If you wake up early every day and get to work, guess what? You've become disciplined. If you speak up even when your voice shakes over and over again, you build confidence like a muscle. It's not about waiting until you feel ready. It's about acting like the person you want to become until it feels natural. The catch. Your brain resists change. It clings to old patterns to conserve energy. That's why consistency feels hard. But here's the secret: your brain doesn't need to believe you're a new person right away. It just needs to see proof. Every new behavior becomes a vote toward your new identity. Stack enough of those, and one day you'll look back and realize the old you was destroyed not by a single moment, but by 1,000 tiny decisions. 4. Your environment is programming you every day. You can't transform your life while staying in the same mental and physical environment that created your old self. Every sound, every person, every piece of content you consume is influencing you, subtly but powerfully. Your brain is a sponge, constantly absorbing information and forming beliefs. If you're surrounded by complainers, guess what? You become one. If your social media is filled with mindless content, your thoughts become shallow. To destroy the old you, curate your environment like your life depends on it. Because it does. Switch your inputs. Follow people who challenge you, not entertain you. Spend time with people who force you to elevate, not stay comfortable. Redesign your space to reflect who you're becoming, not who you've been. The right environment can drag the best version of you out of hiding, but the wrong one will keep the worst version of you on autopilot. 5. Pain is not the enemy. It's the invitation. We've been conditioned to avoid pain, to numb it, suppress it, run from it. But pain is not your enemy. It's your teacher. Every time you feel emotional discomfort, jealousy, anxiety, frustration, it's a signal. Not that you're broken, but that something inside you needs to evolve. The pain of watching others succeed might mean you've been playing small. The pain of rejection might be showing you where you still seek validation. When you stop running from pain and start studying it, you flip the script. You stop being a victim of your emotions and become the architect of your transformation. The most successful people aren't fearless. They're fluent in pain. They've learned to use it, to let it sculpt their mindset, sharpen their instincts, fuel their hunger. So the next time pain knocks, don't hide. Open the door and ask what it came to teach you, because that's how you destroy the weak, reactive version of you and build one that's unshakable. 6. Your beliefs are contracts you signed without reading. Most people operate under a belief system they never consciously chose. I'm not good with money. I wasn't born a leader. Success isn't for people like me. These aren't facts. They're mental contracts, agreed upon silently, often in childhood, based on emotional experiences, failure, or what someone else told you. The scary part? Your subconscious mind treats those beliefs like law. So even if you try to level up, there's always resistance because you're violating the contract. To destroy the old you, you have to renegotiate your beliefs. Audit them like a ruthless CEO. Ask yourself, where did I learn this? Who gave me this belief? Is it even true? And then, tear it up. Replace it with beliefs that empower action, not excuse inaction. You're not just changing thoughts, you're rewriting the operating system of your identity, and only when that internal code is upgraded can your external results transform. 7. The future you want already exists, but you have to earn the frequency. Think of your ideal self like a radio station. That version of you, the one that's disciplined, wealthy, respected, already exists, but on a higher frequency. Right now, you're tuned into a different station. One of doubt, distraction, and low standards. The only way to change the signal is to change your actions, mindset, and energy to match the future you want. Want to be a millionaire? Start thinking like one. What would that version of you do at 6 a.m.? Who would they hang around with? How would they handle failure? You don't wait until you have money to act wealthy. You act with wealth principles until the money follows. This is not delusion. It's alignment. The more you embody the future you seek, the more you collapse time between where you are and where you're going. Reinvention is about frequency, not fantasy. The question is, are you willing to raise yours? 8. Detachment is the superpower no one teaches you. The old you is addicted to outcomes, needing validation, chasing results, fearing what others think. But the new you, the unignorable version, is detached, not indifferent, not emotionless, just unattached to control. Here's the secret: when you release your need for things to go a certain way, you unlock creativity, presence, and resilience. You stop fearing failure because you understand it's part of the path. You stop overthinking because you're focused on the process, not the perfection. Detachment frees your energy. Most people burn out not because they work too hard, but because they're emotionally entangled in every move. They need every post to go viral, every pitch to land, every risk to be safe. But reinvention requires emotional neutrality, the ability to act boldly without being paralyzed by the outcome. When you stop needing, you start attracting, and that shift changes everything. 9. Discipline is the gatekeeper to every level you want. Everyone talks about motivation, but motivation is a visitor. It comes and goes. Discipline is the resident. It stays. Discipline is what separates those who dream from those who execute. It's boring, it's unsexy, and that's exactly why it works. The old you waits for the right mood. The new you builds systems that make action automatic. Want to write a book? Create a non-negotiable daily writing window. Want to build wealth? Automate your savings, limit your spending, track your net worth. Discipline isn't about punishing yourself. It's about proving to yourself that you can trust your own word. And the more you trust yourself, the more momentum you build. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence fuels action. Action creates results. You're not lazy. You're just undisciplined. And that can be changed starting today. The future you can't be ignored because they show up, even when no one's watching. 10. Obsession is a prerequisite for mastery. Here's a harsh truth. You can't be great at something you're half interested in. The people who rise to the top, the ones who dominate industries, shift culture, build legacies, they're obsessed. Not in a toxic burnout way, but in a focused, relentless way. They think about their craft constantly. They study, test, fail, tweak, repeat. Most people want balance. The unignorable ones want mastery. That level of obsession isn't for everyone, and that's why it works. Obsession creates clarity. It filters out distractions. It gives you a reason to say no to short-term pleasure for long-term greatness. The old you tried to fit in, tried to be liked, tried to be well-rounded. The new you go all in. On purpose, on mission, on becoming world-class. Obsession is not a flaw, it's a fuel. If you don't have something in your life you're obsessed with, you haven't found the thing that's worth destroying the old you for. 11. Become ruthlessly selective with your time. Time is the currency of identity. The old you spent it carelessly, scrolling, overthinking, pleasing people, chasing validation. But every hour you give away without intention is a piece of your life you'll never get back. The unignorable version of you treats time like an investor treats capital, with precision and purpose. This doesn't mean you become a robot. It means you stop wasting time on things that don't compound. That means fewer just chilling hours and more deep focus hours. Fewer reactive conversations, more strategic solitude. You start saying no, not because you're rude, but because you're serious. Time is how you prove what you value. Look at your calendar. It's a mirror reflecting your priorities. If you say you want change, but your time is still going to the same places, the truth is you don't want it bad enough. Master your time, and you master your transformation. 12th, reinvention requires isolation before integration. This part is rarely talked about, but it's real. Transformation can be lonely. When you start breaking habits, shifting your mindset, and chasing a higher version of yourself, don't expect applause. Expect silence, or worse, resistance. People close to you might not understand why you're waking up earlier, why you're cutting out distractions, why you're no longer available for mediocrity. That's okay. Growth requires a season of separation, a period where you go inward, where you disconnect from noise to reconnect with your core. This is the cocoon phase, and like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly, it happens in darkness, not in front of an audience. The old you thrives on external validation. The new you learns to move in silence, grounded in internal conviction. You isolate to recalibrate. You rebuild in solitude. And when you return, you don't come back as who you were. You emerge as someone no one can ignore. 13. Emotional control is a competitive advantage. We live in an emotionally reactive world. People get triggered, offended, distracted easily and often. The old you probably reacted too. Got mad, got discouraged, gave up. But the new you needs to master something deeper. Emotional regulation. This is the real flex. Staying calm under pressure. Staying focused in chaos. Responding instead of reacting. Why? Because when emotions run high, logic runs low, and you can't build an elite life with low logic. The ability to pause, process, and pivot gives you an edge in business, relationships, and personal evolution. It's how you avoid impulsive decisions, how you handle setbacks, how you lead yourself. The more control you have over your emotional state, the more power you have over your future. This isn't about suppressing feelings. It's about disciplining your emotions so they serve you, not sabotage you. 14. Your vision has to scare you before it can empower you. If your vision doesn't intimidate you, it's probably not worth chasing. The old you set goals based on comfort, what felt realistic, what seemed doable. But reinvention requires delusional ambition. It means dreaming so big that the current version of you panics a little. Why? Because that fear is a sign you've left the realm of limitation and entered the territory of possibility. And here's the paradox. The bigger the vision, the more disciplined and humble you must become. Grand visions require small, consistent actions. Daily disciplines, relentless focus. You don't need to know how you'll get there. You need to believe that it's possible and build the habits that give that belief muscle. Fear of your own vision isn't a red flag. It's a green light. It means you're finally aiming for something that requires the death of who you are and the birth of who you could be. 15. Reinvention is a lifelong game, not a one-time event. This is the part most people miss. There is no finish line. Reinvention isn't something you do once and forget. It's a lifelong process of shedding, evolving, refining. The unignorable version of you is not a final destination. It's a moving target, because every level you reach reveals another one above it. More responsibility, more resistance, more growth. The old you wants a quick fix. The new you builds a lifestyle where growth is normal and comfort is suspicious. You stop looking for end results and start falling in love with the process. The discipline, the solitude, the mindset work. Reinvention becomes who you are, not what you do. And the more you embrace that, the more unstoppable you become. Destroying the old you isn't a moment, it's a mindset, one you carry with you every single day. Look around at the greats, the ones who went from nothing to everything. They didn't wait, they didn't fake it, they became it. Elon Musk, Oprah, Jay-Z. They weren't born extraordinary. They chose to outgrow who they were again and again until the world had no choice but to pay attention. So ask yourself this: who do you need to stop being? And who are you willing to become? Destroy who you were. Create who they can't ignore. And if you're ready to build your mind, your money, and your mission, subscribe. This is where the new you begins. Let's get to work.